Hello, in this video we are going to speak about artificial intelligence and introduction, and the theme is what is artificial intelligence. If you pick up a definition from a dictionary about artificial intelligence, in this case it was from a Portuguese dictionary from Porta Editora. We got here the Portuguese definition and also translation in English. So we see that intelligent is the ensemble of all functions which have as objective the knowledge, in the broader sense of the word, faculty to understand, conceptual knowledge, and the rational, judgment, reasoning, abstraction, act of interpretation. Human intelligence has different definitions, but it can be said that it is the cognitive ability to learn from experience, to reason well, to remember important information, and to cope with the demands of the daily living. Some important topics about intelligence is logic, reasoning, abstraction, planning, understanding, learning, problem solving, and also imagination. We can state that people differ a lot in the type of intelligence that they are stronger or less stronger. We have here different types of intelligence. For instance, linguistic and verbal, logical, mathematical, spatial, musical, etc. One of the great innovators in artificial intelligence, it was Marvin Minsky, and he says that our minds contain processes that enables us to solve problems we consider difficult. Intelligence is our name for whichever of those processes we don't yet understand. This is a quote for Marvin Minsky, and of course, there is a lot of definitions over the time about IA, and they differ. For instance, the first one, this one, the exciting new effort to make computers think, machines with minds, in the full and literal sense. Another one, artificial intelligence is the study of how to make computers do things at which, at the moment, people are better. Or another one, a field of study that seeks to explain and emulate intelligent behavior in terms of computational process. And finally, artificial intelligence is considered the branch of computer science that is concerned with the automation of intelligent behavior. These two are particularly interesting in my view. The first one is for Roger Schank, and he says that literally that many times because of the publicity, artificial intelligence is almost completely misunderstood, and even people who are practicing artificial intelligence are somehow confused. This is published in this issue for what is artificial intelligence anyway. Another one by Raphael is this one, artificial intelligence is the science of making machines do things that would require intelligence if done by man. There is a lot of timelines about artificial intelligence, and this is one that I present here. It starts with the Turing test in the 50s. Sorry, I'm going to speak about that. And then the year where artificial intelligence was born. And then there is a lot of steps. And of course, the first winter of artificial intelligence, the Deep Blue, and so on. And so we see here in 2014 where a test would fool humans, and so on. So we are going to speak about some of these marks in this presentation, starting with the Alan Turing tests. Alan Turing, in the 50s, he published a paper entitled Computing, Machinery, and Intelligence, where he analyzes the conditions to consider a machine intelligence. He states that if he acts, reacts, interacts as intelligent being, then we will call it intelligent. This is a photo of Alan Turing. Also, we say, can machines think or can machines behave intelligently? For that, he proposed two games or two tests called imitation games. One of those is quite famous. The first one we have here in one side the interrogator here, and then you could not see a man and a woman, and the communication was performed using a teletypewriter. So the test objective is to find out if the interrogator can distinguish a man from a woman by using a set of questions and replies. This is the first one. The second one is the famous one, where we have in one side the interrogator and in the other the human and the intelligent machine. In this case, the objective is to find out if the interrogator can distinguish a human from a machine by a set of questions and their answers. If the machine passes the test by eluding the interrogator, so we can call machine intelligent. This is a very famous test, and of course you can see more about the excellent Turing work in the Second World War if you watch the movie The Imitation Game, that you can see here a photo. This is excellent. Of course, there is a lot of critical knowledge about the Turing tests, and one of those, it is quite famous, is the Chinese room, which was proposed by John Searle. So more or less, we can see that we got here one guy that inserts some maybe some answers, and this guy doesn't understand nothing about Chinese. He just has a book of rules, and then following the book of rules, he can provide a reply to this guy here. You can watch a quite of interesting video in this about the Chinese test or Chinese room test in this link here. Anyway, nowadays, can we ask that if ChatGPT is a Chinese room example, and if you ask to the ChatGPT about that, of course he says that the Chinese room is a simplification. The ChatGPT is more he has more power than probably BL just a book of rules. Anyway, following that. It is stated that John McCarthy, which we have a photo here, was the guy who proposed the terms artificial intelligence. And also in this conference in 1956, is called the Dartmouth Conference. We have here John McCarthy and also very important people in terms of artificial intelligence. Marvin Minsky and also Claude Shannon and others, Arthur Samuel. And so this was one of the most important conferences in terms of artificial intelligence. And these guys are called the founding fathers of artificial intelligence. One important thing in terms of the introduction of typification of artificial intelligence is the division between weak AI and strong AI. Weak AI believes that machines can exhibit what it may be called intelligent behavior with limits. So it will always be inferior to humans. Strong artificial intelligence believes in the construction of machines with similar or superior intelligence to humans. This can be called now general AI or artificial general intelligence. Okay, some arguments pro weak AI is that machines, even if appear to be intelligent, can only simulate intelligence. Also, they will never be conscious about what they are doing, and the human intelligence is a result of a superior mechanism existing in the brain, which will never be present in a computational machine. So, strong AI states that any intellectual task performed by a human can be performed by a machine, an intelligent machine. Computers are capable of true intelligence, and the intelligence is purely algorithmic, meaning that it can be implemented by a program in a computational system. Also, a very important point is, or more controversial point is if you can or not reduce the consciousness to an algorithm. So, if one important book about this is The Singularity is Near by this author, Ray Kurzweil, that he argues that in a future period, the pace of technological change will be so rapid that the impact is going to be so deep that human life will be transformed in a unchangeable way. So it can be, is very important. Is this you can also see the video about this in this link, quite interesting about the singularity, and so we can also have a countdown to singularity where you can see here. For okay, first we have life, then we got multicellular organisms, then you got reptiles. You get to see a photo here of a reptile, primates. Then we come to Homo sapiens and Homo sapiens sapiens and so on until we reach the computer. Okay, from the computer science guys, this is very important. And of course, everybody knows about Moore's law and the duplication of the computational power. You can see here that first you have the electromechanical devices, then the relay, the vacuum tube, the transistor, and the integrated circuit. And this was just to